Welcome back to the iCommunity platform tutorials. In today's video, we're going to show you how to connect to the API to create a signature through programming. To do this, you'll need an iCommunity account and access to the iBS dashboard. If you're not registered yet, you can do so by clicking this link. We've also left a tutorial on how to do this on the screen. Before we begin, let's get a bit of context. Signatures are iCommunity's way of linking a digital identity to the blockchain, which gives legal validity to a record. If your project doesn't require creating signatures through programming, you can always go to Signatures, New Signature, and create it directly from the dashboard as we showed in the previous video. To connect to the API, the first thing we need to do is go to the Access Tokens page, where we'll create a new token for our application. If you already have an access token, you can skip this part. You'll need to choose a name for the token and define how long you want it to last. For our tests, I'll set a duration to 1 week. Then click Request and the new token will appear below. Copy this code and save it somewhere for the future reference, because you'll need it to make any API calls. Once you leave this page or refresh it, you won't be able to access the token value again, and we'll need to request a new one. With that, we have everything we need to create a new signature. To do this, we need to make an HTTP post call to api.icommunitylabs.com/v2/signatures. In the headers, we set authorization bearer followed by the access token we generated earlier. In the body, we send a JSON with the identifying name of the signature we want to create. As a response, we will receive a JSON with a signature ID field and a URL to which we should redirect our users for the identity verification process. Note: a positive response from the API doesn't mean that the identity is automatically verified. It only means that we successfully received the HTTP request and will proceed with the verification. By default, the iCommunity verification system is used where the person responsible for the signature can choose the type of signature they want to create, individual or legal entity. The process can be carried out from a mobile device or a computer. A password is required to encrypt the identity files, which can be photos taken at the moment or pre-existing ones. The process is asynchronous and can take up to 48 hours to confirm. After the verification process is completed, if we want to be sure whether a signature has been approved and is ready for use, we can check the dashboard or listen to a webhook. To create a webhook, in the side menu, under API, click on Webhooks. It requires a name, a URL to point to, and a list of events to listen to. Our webhook will listen to the identity verification confirmed and identity verification failed events. Save everything, and there you go, we have our first webhook. Now that we have the webhook configured, when a user goes through the identity verification process, we will receive a notification. The webhooks return the request information in a JSON format. The first thing we need to look at is the event parameter. It can be signature verification success if the identity has been verified, or signature verification failed if there was a problem in the identity verification process. If the signature was rejected, the webhook response will provide a code and the reason for the rejection. Depending on the complexity, we may also receive a comment that provides more details about this reason. All the information regarding webhook responses can be found in our documentation, which we have linked below. To retry the identity verification in case of denial, we only need to make a HTTP put call to api.iCommunityLabs.com/v2/signatures/signature ID filling in the authorization field. We already have the signature identifier from the previous attempt. The response to this call is exactly the same as the post call and should be handled in the same way. In our dashboard, we can see that the signatures are created correctly and ready to be used. We've covered the basics needed to start creating signatures with the iBS-API, an access token, HTTP calls to the API, and webhooks. If you have any questions, we've included a link to our technical documentation in the video description.